Hello world, this is Ina Coveney and I am so happy that you found this podcast. I am also going live on our Facebook group because today is a very special day. It is day number 1 of our 5-day idea validation challenge. So for everyone who is only listening here, there is a video version of this podcast and you can get to it by going to inacoveney.com/CT1. For everyone who's watching me live, I will be reposting this and sending you an email with the full recap. All right, but you should be able to listen to the podcast right after this live is over. So what I wanted to tell you was, first of all, welcome. I'm very happy that you found this, and I'm super happy to be here with everyone who signed up for this challenge because I have super good stuff to share with you to validate your idea. Now, this is not just for people who are just thinking about starting a business and who want to see if their idea would work. This is also for people who have already created their business, but they are really finding it hard to find more traffic, to get more people to come see their stuff. So I really wanted to create this because it's a good time to take a step back and reassess your idea to make sure that you're meeting your audience where they are. But first, I wanted to tell you a little bit about me. This is probably the first time a lot of you are seeing me live and probably the first time that a lot of you are listening to me on the podcast. Obviously, it's episode 1, so yes. But I wanted to tell you who I am and why you should even be listening to me. So my name is Ina Coveney. I actually live in Boston, although I'm in Philadelphia right now because I'm also a mom of 2 wonderful boys. And I wanted to give this challenge everything I have. I wanted to give you my undivided attention throughout the entire week. So I said to my husband, we have 2 kids, we're dividing and conquering, you're keeping 1, and I'm taking a flight down to my parents' house because I do not want to be able to, I do not want to have to take care of laundry or to answer the question, what's for dinner, or to pick up and do drop-offs, splitting up my day. I want to give you my undivided attention. So if you're a mom and if you're an entrepreneur, you will relate that sometimes it's really hard to get things done when you're also taking care of kids at the same time. So this week I'm going to focus. I had been working, hello, I see Kate just joined. Hi Kate. I had been working in corporate. I worked in corporate for 15 years. I was really good at what I did. I loved my job. Every day was a challenge. And but I knew from the time that I was 23 years old that I really wanted to start my own business. And I knew that's something I wanted to do, but the truth of the matter was that I was making too much money in corporate. I mean, hashtag first world problems, right? I was making too much money in such that I couldn't just break away. I was getting great healthcare. I was taking care of my family, and quitting meant slashing my income in half, which is not something my family, would have been able to do. So it was very, very hard to actually take the step and quit. So what I did instead was I started a side hustle. I started making websites for small businesses. And to me, if you ever talked to me back then, it was never about the money. I really wanted a sense of control because I could see that all the skills that I was putting in corporate, I could use them, I could repurpose them to focus on something where I had more control over my income, more control over my time, have a more flexible schedule. So over time, I was able to save up enough money that once I have had my second kid, he's 10 months old now, I decided, okay, I'm really going to give this a shot. So I have already 7 years of experience under my belt running my business, plus 3 years of online marketing wisdom that I've already started to put out there through my YouTube series. It's called Commuting Bites. And you can get to it by going to inacoveney.com/YouTube if you wanted to check out those videos. But it's basically all goodness of if you want to start an online business, I'm telling you everything I have learned on how to do it and all the wisdom. So you can just binge on that like it's a Netflix show and you will learn a whole ton. So I'm turning around and giving this back to you. So that's who I am and why I'm here. And so I want to get started on day 1 of the challenge. And I know I have Jess on the line, I have Kate on the line, I have Tammy on the line. I am very excited, I'm pumped. I want to get started on this. So day 1 is all about your idea, all right? The reason I wanted to start here is because, and this is going to be a little bit of tough love that I think you really need to hear within the first 5 minutes of the challenge and within the first 5 minutes of you starting your online business. Entrepreneurship is hard, all right? It is long hours. It is a lot of work. It is not, all rainbows and roses and whiskers on kittens, right? It's not, it's the grass is always greener. You see entrepreneurs, you're like, I want to be that. But I want to stop right here and tell you, it is hard work. Whatever amount of work and time you're spending on your corporate job, picture doing that, but for something that you actually love. So what you're doing is basically transferring the work, the hours, the stress. You will have stress to something that you love. So it's actually a completely different energy, I want to say, because you're working just the same, but guess what? You don't care about the money, you don't care about what is happening, because you will do this anyway, because your idea keeps you going. You are so passionate about this that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's something you really need to do for yourself. That's what being an entrepreneur feels like. It feels like you're spending all of your energy into something you actually love. It's like your baby. It's something you would do no matter what. You would do no matter who's looking, and you would do no matter who's paying you. So that's kind of the feeling that I want you to get about your idea. If you're coming in with an idea that, you have a certain skill and you feel like, this is actually a really good idea. I've run it by several people and they all say it could be $1 million idea. All of that could be true, but your idea will not make you a cent if it is the wrong idea for you. And I'll tell you why. We're going to start from the premise that, number one, entrepreneurship is hard. All right. Number two, you're probably not going to be making a lot of money right away. It's probably going to take you several months or maybe even up to a year to even make a level of money that you'll be able to start maintaining your family. You'll be able to start, saying like, okay, I see where this is going. So that's a lot of months of working without really seeing tangible results. So because I just said that, these are axioms, these are truths, all right? Entrepreneurship is hard. You're probably not going to see money right away. You're not going to see a lot of money, if that, for several months. Because of that, the dropout rate for entrepreneurs is extremely high, right? 80% of new ventures fail within their first year because of these two reasons. So if you pick an idea that you're not absolutely in love with, it will be so much easier for you to say, this just didn't work, and go back to work in corporate or go back to whatever you were doing before and saying, okay, I gave it a shot and I'm going to quit and do something else. So that's why it's so important to spend this one day just focused on your idea, just making sure that you're setting yourself up for success, that you know in your heart, in your gut, that this will be hard, that you will not be making a lot of money right away, and that you don't care. Because guess what? I could tell you, don't do it, but you don't care because you're going to go and do it anyway, because that's how much you love your idea. So that's all day one is focused on. All right. So what I have here is, I wanted to give you that tough love. That's like within the first 5 minutes of the challenge. You gotta have an idea that you absolutely love. So I wrote it here, and I want to say these things out loud one more time for you, because I just said them off the top of my head. I want to read them from what I wrote so that I do not mess this up. I want to tell you exactly what this is. Number one, starting a business is hard. Number two, you will not make money, let alone replace your former salary for a while. Number three, you will have a lot of expenses before you start making money. And number four, you will be working all the time, around the clock, no joke. So if you see those four things and you think to yourself, you know what? I can do this because I love my idea. This is what I'm passionate about. I will do this even if nobody ever paid me. That's the attitude that is going to make you succeed, because it's going to make you resilient. It's going to make you persevere a lot more. So great for you if those are your feelings. If you're starting to feel lukewarm, don't worry about it. I'm going to walk you through a few things so that you can start shaping your idea into something that you absolutely love and that you know you won't quit. All right. So whatever idea that you have, I want you to think about it in this way. I want you to think, all right, I have these skills and this is kind of the business that I want to go into, right? Just because you feel lukewarm about that business, don't drop it yet. All right, because tomorrow on day 2, I'm going to show you what different business models look like. Because I can take one idea and I could have many business models, and not all of them are going to be for me. Maybe all of them are for me. Not everybody just sticks to one business model. No successful entrepreneur ever sticks to just one business model. They all start somewhere that they were able to stick with long enough that they could see results, and then they started expanding to other business models. That's really what you should expect happen. So the first business model you select should be something that you feel like you can stick with for a full year. Imagine, set up in your mind that, okay, if I were to not make any money for a year, what would I love to do? Right? Would it be starting a podcast? Would it be making an online business? So we're going to go through all of that tomorrow. But today I have 3 tests that you should be running on your idea. These are just gut feel tests, all right? So, as soon as I say them, you will probably know what the answer is. So the way that these challenges is structured is that every day I'm going to tell you a little bit of wisdom, like I just did with, you really have to love your idea, right? And I'm going to give you 3 tests to make sure that this is the idea for you, all right? And then I'm going to give you an assignment. Now, that assignment is going to be for you to think about, for you to do in the next 24 hours, and then go on the Facebook group, all right, for this challenge. And for everybody listening on the podcast, that group is probably, already closed, so don't worry about that. It's for people who are signed up for the challenge right now. But you can go to, my other group. I have a group called A Life Without Regret. You can get to it by going to inacoveney.com/Facebook, and I welcome you to go there and tell us what the answers to your tests are. All right, but for everybody who signed up for the challenge, you know which group that is. All right, and if you don't, you are getting my emails because you signed up. So I will be sending you an email saying, okay, here's the Facebook group, here's the recap, so go there and post your answers, and I'm going to respond to you and give you some feedback on that. So every day is going to have an assignment, and you're going to do it, post it, I'll give you feedback, we move on to the next day. That's how this is going to work. So the assignment for today is to run your idea through these 3 tests. Are you ready for them? All right. Test number 1 is the regret test. All right. So the premise of this is that you should picture yourself 3 months from now. All right. And the reason I'm saying that is I'm assuming you're starting your business today. All right. You start working on that today. 3 months from now, you probably won't have been making a lot of money, if any at all. All right. I want to prep you for this. Just if you do make money, then, I'm not telling you're not going to, you might, but most likely it will take you several months to actually make any real money. All right. So 3 months from now, you have not made a penny. All right. You have been working on your idea a lot. You have been, putting out Facebook ads. You have been planning your launch. You have been setting up your website. You have been setting up your podcast or whatever it is. You've spent 3 solid months on it. All right. Day and night. No weekends. You're working around the clock. You're always on your phone on Facebook, checking to see if anybody liked your stuff, checking if somebody wants to join your group, checking if somebody is downloading your podcast. You're going to be on your phone all the time, just waiting for something to happen. All right. You will be exhausted. You will have spent some money on your website, on the on equipment for the podcast. You will be in the negative in 3 months. All right. Picture yourself in there. All right. The regret test is if you were to talk to that 3 month ahead person, right now, what would they tell you, right? Would they tell you that you picked the right idea, that you are having so much fun? It's been 3 months doing it and you can't believe that this is your new job, that creating content for people is your new job, that you spend all day and all night just thinking of more ideas for your audience, that your audience is responding and you love it, that you can't stop thinking about things to do to attract more people, things to do to engage the people that you already have. So is this person, the 3 month ahead person, saying all these things and sounding super happy, super optimistic, and you love what you're hearing, right? Or is this person saying, okay, I am exhausted. There has been 3 months working in this thing and I don't really see any traction. I think you should just rethink your idea. This is not really what I wanted to spend the next 3 months working tirelessly for, especially if I'm not getting paid. So the regret test is very simple. Picture yourself 3 months from now. You're about to launch your first product, you've been putting 13-hour days, and you're a few hundreds or thousands of dollars in debt, and you haven't even made any money yet. You don't even know if your launch is going to make you any money at all. There's really no certainty in any of this. So ask your future self, are you excited that your idea is finally going to see the light, or do you have a tickle in your stomach that is making you think that you should have picked another idea? So if you are in the fence between two ideas, right, you gotta have a gut feeling about them, right? Most likely one idea will be the one that everybody's telling you that's $1 million idea, that's going to make you a lot of money, that's probably has the highest chance of success. And then you're thinking of this other idea, right? The little one, the skinny one, but you feel so passionate about it, right? You're like, oh, people are telling me that I'm probably not going to make a lot of money with it, but I love it so much, right? So you're probably torn between two ideas that give you different benefits, right? So in the regret test, picture yourself having worked on the one that you're leaning towards the most. What is your 3-month ahead person telling you about that? You should have picked the other idea? Or are they telling you, yes, this is it. This is what we want to do with our time. All right. So I had an example here. So suppose that you chose to do consulting for your corporate area of expertise, right? So suppose that in corporate, I was an HR professional. So I want to do consulting for HR, right? That's what I know. That's what my corporate experience is in. That's really what I see myself marketing myself as, right? I would be going to corporate events, I would be attracting corporate clients and doing what I normally do, but this time with the twist that I'm making money for myself. But at the same time, you've always wanted to start that travel blog, right? You love to travel. Your family is always asking you to help them come up with an itinerary for the next vacation because you love just looking into flights and looking into places to visit. And you're thinking like, well, but that has nothing to do with HR, right? So those are the two ideas that a lot of people struggle with. Stick with your skill or do something that you're absolutely passionate about. Remember what I said in the beginning. So I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you which one is the best one for you or for your family. Only you can do it. So that's what the regret test is going to tell you. Is it going to tell you, hey, you just went through all of this work. If you chose the consulting HR, you just went through all of this work and now it just still feels like you're working in corporate. It's like, there's a new twist that you're making money for yourself. But that's really the only difference in your life. I think you should have gone with the blog because that would have been a significant change and it would have been a super positive change. Or did you go with the blog idea and it's telling you, dude, stick to what you know. You are much more marketable as a consultant. So think about it. What does your 3-month ahead person tell you to do? So you pass the test if the idea that you chose does not give you a sense of regret for having followed a different path. That's how you pass that test. All right, let me say that again. After you run this test and you picture yourself coming back from the future and talking to you, do you get the sense that you picked the right idea? So that's how you pass a regret test. If there is no regrets, you're on your way. All right, let's go to test number 2. Test number 2 is called the hours test. Think of it as hours, like hours of operation, right, as your schedule. So the way that this goes is once your business goes live, have you thought about what your schedule is going to be? So if you quit your job because you weren't spending any time with your kids, but your new entrepreneurship venture keeps you traveling all the time to conferences, to clients, to traveling internationally. It all sounds very exciting, but you're still not spending any time with your kids. So was that really the best idea for you? Another really good one is I've had friends who tell me, I love to cook. So I've been working at corporate all this time, but I would love to open a new restaurant. And I'm like, all right, have you thought about your quality of life after you do so? Right? You will be making beautiful food for great people, but restaurants are usually open nights and weekends. And until you hire enough staff and are making enough money to really hire someone to completely take over management, you will likely be spending nights and weekends at the restaurant. So have you thought of maybe starting out with a blog and starting to publicize it, doing something different that will allow you to have the schedule and the flexibility that you want, but still do something that you absolutely love. So the hours test is you putting yourself in the position of, okay, I have made it in this business, right? It's a year from now. I am making money. I'm in a good place with it. Did you meet your lifestyle goals? What are your hours? Are you traveling all the time? Do you find yourself in a brick and mortar location more than you really thought that you would have at this point? Are you spending time with your kids and with your family? What are your lifestyle goals? Are you meeting them? So again, I'm going to read the test out loud because I want to make sure that I'm fair with it. So the hours test is, once your business is live, what will your hours be? Is this the type of business that will allow you to be with your family every night and weekend, or the type of business that requires you to work outside the home at odd hours? For example, if you're a photographer, you could set up your work around your family's schedule, but there may be some night and weekend work. If you have a brick and mortar business establishment with patrons that is open nights and weekends, count on being there every day and every night until you hire proper trustworthy management. So you pass this test if you are aware, willing, and able to put in those hours that the new profession requires, and you vow right now never to make that the reason why you quit down the line. All right. So a lot of people, once they, become successful at what is it that they started with, they realize, shoot, I didn't really know it was going to be this way. I didn't really know I wasn't going to have all this flexibility. I went in with the wrong expectations. So that's why today, on day one, I'm trying to break all of that for you. I'm trying to tell you, expect the unexpected, right? Actually, expect the expected. Think about what to expect in your new profession and vow that that is exactly what you want. Because like I said, remember my premise, remember my axiom from the beginning. It is hard and you might not make any money for a while, all right? So you have to make sure that whatever decision you make, it's you have thought it through enough that your reason to quit down the line, to say, shoot, it just, the hours were just not great. I want you to think about them now and say, and write down for yourself, I know what my hours are, and I'm not going to quit because of those hours. Now, I'll give you an out, all right? Life changes. Life throws you curveballs, all right? It is possible that right now you are, pretty young in your career. You don't have a family. You don't have kids to take care of, and traveling sounds super exciting to you. So after this test, you're thinking, I'm going to be traveling all the time. This is my dream life. But then 5 years down the line, 7 years down the line, you find yourself with a family and your priorities change. So that's the out that I'm giving you. Yes, you vow not to quit for that reason, but we can't really predict everything that's going to happen in life. With everything else staying the same, I don't want you to not expect what your hours will be. So that is what the hours test is. Test number 3 is the niche test. All right? What the niche test is, people are looking for answers to specific questions. All right? So when you put yourself out there, you may be saying, well, I am multi-talented, right? I can do podcasts and I can teach people how to be a project manager, and I can teach people about software, and I've done online marketing, so I can teach them too. And guess what? I'm also an awesome chess player. So what the niche test is you realizing that nobody cares how multi-talented you are. When somebody's looking for answers, when somebody's looking for somebody to follow and learn from, what they're looking for is answers to specific questions. So the most successful entrepreneurs out there have what is called a niche, which is something specific that people go to them for. All right? Now, you're definitely, I already know you are a multi-talented individual. Why? Because you're here, so that tells me that you're a trailblazer, all right? And number 2, because if you're anything like me, you like to try different things. You like to learn things all the time. Right now I have on my bio page, when I was younger, I liked to study organic chemistry for fun, just because I could. I loved learning new things. So being somebody who is very curious and who likes to explore different things, to me is a very interesting trait about myself. But guess what? You're not here because I studied organic chemistry when I was 23 years old. That doesn't serve you any. You are here because you're looking for the answer to a specific question, which is, I have a business idea and I want to know if it's going to work before I go and spend all that time and money in it. Or I already have a business and I want to attract more people. I'm going to give you 5 days where you're going to be able to do that, but I'm not going to be talking to you about all these other things I'm great at. So I'm going to tell you what the niche test is. So knowing that people are looking for specific answers to specific questions, people want to know how you can help them with this particular problem that they have. So all you have to do is make sure that you come off as being the ultimate expert in this matter with this problem. So this may sound very intuitive and like a no-brainer, but it's actually really hard to narrow down your focus and especially let go of all the things that you're choosing not to help people with. I'm gonna let you sink that in for a second. When you put yourself as something specific, you are assuming the responsibility of helping them with this and letting go of everything else you could be helping them with. And that is so hard to do because you are a multi-talented individual and you want to help everyone with everything. But that does not a sound business make. All right, so I hope that's super clear. So in this test, I really want you to think of your idea. Is it specific enough? Is it in a niche that I know a lot about? I'm gonna give you an example. All right. So there are a million life coaches out there. Put yourself on the side of the customer. Do you see yourself, like right now, if I'm talking to you and I'm telling you, hey, I'm a life coach. I'm not, but I'm gonna pretend that I am. Hey, I'm a life coach. Would you sign up for my service? Like if I were asking you right now, hey, sign up for my service. I'm a life coach. Do it. You're probably going to be like, I think I might just go and figure some things out on my own before I pay anybody. Thanks, life coach. Like what is that even? Like I'm already a type A person. I'm a very organized person. I don't really need you. But what if you saw that there was someone out there who could help you identify all the ways to outsource your tasks in business and in life to make more time for the things that only you can do? That's something that a life coach does. A life coach can actually help you organize your life and outsource everything you don't need to do. So I'm not saying, hey, I'm a life coach, sign up for my service. Do you want me? Do you want me? I'm saying, hey, I'm going to help you organize your life in such a way that in your personal life and in your business life, you are doing the things that only you can do. And I'm going to show you how to outsource everything else. Now, that sounds like the solution to a problem, right? So that's what I mean with niche, right? It has to be solving a specific problem. You're not selling yourself as a multi-talented individual who can help everyone with everything. You're saying, I am an expert at organizing your life such that you're outsourcing everything you don't need to do. And that will give you more time in your business, more time with your family. And I have all those tools ready to go for you. In 1 week, you will have so much more time in your hands and you'll be able to let go of those things you don't need to do. How does that sound? Now, that's a problem that I have. If I saw somebody advertising that, I may give it a second look. I'm not going to sign up for the service on the first shot, right? I'm probably going to sign up for their freebie, or I'm going to check out their website. I'm going to see like, what can I learn on my own, right? But now you have my interest. So that's what niching is about. Putting out there a solution to a specific problem, not something so broad that people don't know what to do with your business. All right? For the niche test, you pass the test if you can answer this question in a simple sentence. What problem are you solving? If that's starting to look more like a long paragraph, it is probably not specific enough. In the example that I gave you, you're a life coach who helps people outsource things they don't have to do so they can more time with their family. That's something that I just explained in plain English, one sentence with a comma in there, I believe. But now you know what problem I'm trying to solve. So that is what the niche test is. What is your niche? What is the problem you're trying to solve? Get me? So those are the 3 tests that you're going to be running your idea through. That is your assignment for today, so that you can go to the Facebook group and tell me how you did. Did you pass the test? And feel free to be wordy, right? Tell me what happened when you were going through these ideas in your head. Tell me if it made you realize something. Tell me if it made you feel something that you didn't expect to be there. If you learned something new, I want to know all of that. Most importantly, I want to know if your idea passed the tests, and if it didn't. Did it make you rethink your idea? Did it make you pivot to something else that had also been on your mind? So come back to the Facebook group and tell me how you did. All right? So something that I wanted to say before I let you go is that evolution is part of the process. All right? So even though here I'm saying these are all the tests so that you can be great with your idea and go off into the sunset and make a lot of money with your idea, this is really only day 1 of your idea. And guess what? As you start building it, suppose after these 5 days, you're ready to take the next step. You want to build your website and your online presence, and you want to start advertising to clients, and all that sounds great. You don't have an audience yet. And guess what? Your business will change drastically once you start putting this out to an audience, because you're going to start to listen to them, and you're going to start to sense, okay, what is it that they really need? So things are going to change. Evolution is part of the process. So just because you went through this exercise today doesn't mean that you're stuck with your idea. It means that this is the first stepping stone. All right? If you think of it as a long, a very long staircase up to something wonderful, this is step number 1. All right, guys, there are so many more steps to having the life that you want for yourself, but you have to start somewhere. Don't get stuck with analysis paralysis. Don't get stuck with, thinking that, oh no, my idea has to be perfect for me to even start working on it. Start somewhere. Start with something that you're super passionate about, that you would do it even if I told you not to. That's how much you should love your idea, right? And then you go from there. Your audience is going to talk back. Your audience is going to tell you, yes, this is what I want. Or, you know what, it'll be better if it was this way. And then you will evolve. I always give the example of Twitter. Twitter started out as a completely different app. I believe it was something related to video and sharing video. And then they realized, wait a minute, we actually have a really cool, essentially like a public messaging platform that we could be using. And they pivoted, and now they are what they are. So you just have to start somewhere. So start with something that you love and then go from there. So I wanted to prepare you for that, because I don't want you to feel like you failed if after a couple weeks, a month, 6 months, you decide, you know what, my idea was okay, but I actually think I should be doing this instead. It is all part of the process. So when you find yourself doing that, it's a milestone. You're actually getting better at your idea when that happens. So I wanted to really leave that with you, because I want to set you up for success. I want you to start taking action, and when things change, I want you to roll with the punches and go with it. Keep rolling to where your audience is, and you're never gonna go wrong. So basically that is what I had for you for day 1. I really hope that you liked it. I really hope that it gave you some food for thought. I am going to be sending a recap after this Facebook Live, and for everyone who's on the podcast, who is not signed up for the challenge because this has already passed, just so you know, there is a Facebook group that you can join and give me all of these answers anyway, and it is at inacoveney.com/Facebook. Anybody can join it and I'll approve it. But yeah, I am super excited to go through this entire 5 days with you. Go back to the Facebook group, let me know how it went. I would love to see your responses and reply, and help each other out, comment on each other's stuff. It's been really great spending this time with you, and I'm going to let you go so you can get to work. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. All right, goodbye world. I will see you guys next time.